Hello and welcome to episode 4 of my Satisfactory Let's Play. So I'm going to run over here and grab this power slug real quick because we're going to need it in a couple minutes. One of the things I forgot to talk about when we were putting down foundations and I started building that building and we talked about zooping was that you can also zoop ramps. So when you zoop the normal foundations, you've got two modes, which is horizontal and then vertical. And with a ramp, it zoops up like a giant ramp, which is, I know it seems kind of obvious, but it's a really nice feature when you're trying to get up somewhere high because you couldn't do that. I mean, the zooping wasn't in the game, so obviously you couldn't do it, but it was, it's difficult to build a ramp up really high without having to get underneath and the way you're trying to snap things together. So what have we accomplished so far in the series? Episode 1, we got a basic production on the ground going, and we needed that to make resources to build a building. So episodes 2 and 3, we've built this big factory. Well, I say big. It's big right now compared to anything else we've got. We built this factory. We're producing everything. We've got the miners, conveyor belts. Everything is automated, and we're producing everything except for the power. The power is not automated. And we're not doing bad on power right now. Let me go over here and check. So our capacity is 420 megawatts, and we're only using 230. So we do have some room left. And we've automated this as well as we can. You throw leaves or wood, it goes in, it gets turned into biomass, and then it gets turned into solid biofuel. There's storage containers, and then it runs down the line. So we have capacity. But the problem is that top floor, we're only making, 2, 3, 4 minute of some of the top tier stuff. That's not even anywhere remotely close to what we're going to need. So the next logical step is we want to go and we want to build a giant factory that completely dwarfs this building and pull in way more nodes and start really cranking stuff out. The issue is the power downstairs. Even though it's doing really good and I've got plenty of power for quite a while here on this building, a giant building, it would just suck all that down really fast. So our main goal that we want to do next is we want to automate power. Now, I don't have anything to automate. That's going to be under tiers 3 and 4. And in order to get that, we need to do the space elevator. So I could just build the space elevator and go to power. But before we head to 3 and 4, I kind of wanted to finish off 1 and 2. We've got field research where we're going to get the MAM and we're going to be able to research all the things we found that we don't know what they are yet. The jump pads, which I've already talked about, and then the awesome shop. And if you like building things and making it look good, you've probably looked at my giant box and been like, okay, that's horrible. I thought you were going to make things look nice. Well, all I literally have right now is I have foundations with that texture and I have walls with that texture. I don't have access to anything else. The awesome shop is going to give us that. So I need to clear some of this stuff out of my inventory and then grab a few other things. So give me just a second. All right, so I gathered a bunch of stuff in my inventory. One thing I didn't mention, I let the game between last episode and this one run for 2 hours. I didn't do anything. I just stood here and let the game run for 2 hours so we'd have enough resources. So we're going to go ahead and hopefully I got enough to unlock the few things I want to unlock. My inventory's a little tight right now. So field research, we're going to unlock that one first.
Milestone reached. Supply the molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, with local resources to research and develop new technologies. Potential technologies include exploration tools, weapons, and factory buildings. These are essential for maximizing your Pioneer efficiency and alignment with Fixit's core pillars: construct, automate, explore, and exploit. To advance Fixit's mission, all notable phenomena, resources, technology, or other influence should be investigated regardless of any perceived danger, as stated in the Pioneer contract.
Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of stuff to research. She talks after every one. I'm going to let it go, and then I'm going to see how long all this is, and I might cut out where she talks. I don't know yet. So first one here, we've got we've killed the hogs and we've killed the spitters. We have not seen stingers yet, and we haven't seen hatchers. So let's go ahead and do these two. And if you try to unlock another one, she'll get mad at you
to an organism
she hasn't
now
finished
dubbed
talking about the last one, and then she'll.
It has many characteristics that would likely classify it among the Suidae family were it native to Earth. Hog remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving Pioneer safety during exploration.
Okay, so we can craft the remains into protein, and then down here we'll be able to craft the protein into whatever that is, alien DNA or something. I don't remember. We are not going to have these two. We can go ahead and do this one,
The
but I've got to
remains
craft.
researched belong to an organism that tends to nest near objects emitting specific types of resonance. Spitters are called as such due to their ability to create and spit plasma across long distances. Spitter remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving Pioneer safety during exploration.
Okay. Do this one. We don't have
Research completed.
two of the
Alien
items there.
protein
Well,
can now
we don't
be
have enough
turned
of the
into
DNA, so we don't
biomass
have
or
any of
alien
those.
DNA capsules.
I can do that one.
In addition to being used for research,
don't have enough
the
of the DNA.
invaluable alien lifeform data in these
And then
capsules can
technically
be
I could do
traded
that
for
one.
Fix-It coupons at the Awesome Sink.
But I mainly
We
want to do this
guarantee
one.
the best capsule to
more
coupon
cable.
exchange rate anywhere on this planet.
Need more inventory space. You always need more inventory space. Okay, this one. And that took, we only have one DNA thing left. Otherwise, I could do this one.
Pocket dimension
Or
significantly
that one.
expanded. I worked all afternoon, analyzing the transdimensional confabulatory permutations of alien DNA to achieve this. We are all doing our part for Fix-It.
Okay, alien technology. So we found a Mercer sphere. We have not seen the Summer Sloop, and we have not seen Samor yet. So this is the only thing we've seen of the top three. And we can't unlock this because, well, we don't have another.
Mercer sphere analysis completed. Established local planetary signature of Massage 2, AB, in the local Mercer sphere signals, allowing them to be tracked by the object scanner. Mercer spheres can also transmit data between specific.
Witness our scripture, witness our windows. Have you come to defile our shrine? Sing this song.
Arguing the existence of intelligent alien life. While Fix-It has figured out the method, all of the original data is still untranslatable.
So the Mercer spheres are really, really cool. I go back to this because we'll get a
The metal
dimensional
has
depot
been named
eventually.
Caterium after Fix-It's greatest
Those are
CEO,
awesome.
Katerina Parks. It has been added as a viable alternative to gold in industrial applications, specifically in advanced electronics due to its superconductivity,
Like I said, it's basically gold.
malleability, and corrosion resistance.
I can never tell if she's done talking or not. And that's all the Caterium I have. Zipline.
Research
Talk about that in a minute.
completed. Caterium ingot recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
All right, so going back to this, the dimensional depot, it looks like a storage container, but it's, I don't know, it's like connected to a Stargate or whatever, and it goes into your inflated pocket dimension here, and it shows up on the side. So right now, if I, I've got 874 concrete. If I use it all, I got to come back to somewhere and load up with more concrete. If we had a dimensional depot, wherever the concrete is, way down at the end, and we fed the conveyor into the dimensional depot, then over here on the left, I would have concrete, and it will use that concrete when I build, the same as it will use this concrete, except it just keeps getting refilled. So if you've got, 30 things in here, and you had 30 dimensional depots, you would have infinite of everything in your inventory, right? Now you can use one dimensional depot. It'll only take one stack of each item. So you would have to manually feed it one stack of each thing. You can't automate it then, but we're gonna want that. Like, it's awesome for building. So then back to this, the Caterium. So we can scan for Caterium now. We can make it into ingots. We can make it into quick wire. Obviously don't have enough for that. We're gonna get stun rebar. We're gonna get, I think this works down towards the computer. Here's a zip line. Zip lines are awesome. They go down power lines. There's not like a separate zip line thing. All right, so we're going to come over here to nutrients. We have not found the mushroom, the bacon agaric. We have found plenty of berries and nuts, though.
This fruit, dubbed the pale berry due to its tendency to stay light in color even when ripe, is compatible with the human digestive system and has been added to the object scanner. Further research is available.
Okay. We can't do this. We don't have steel yet.
This fruit, dubbed the barrel nut after its distinctive color, is compatible with the human digestive system and has been added to the object scanner. Further research is available.
Blue power slug.
This semi-slug, now dubbed power slug, is early in its life cycle and has retained only part of its potential energy storage capacity, giving it its blue color. Power slugs are capable of extracting latent energy from their surroundings, including through a form of photosynthesis, and preserve it in their porous semi-crystalline shell over their lifetime. This explains why they rarely move after having found a suitable location.
It would be weird. I'm so used to them not moving. It would be weird if they programmed something in and the slug like moved around a little bit.
Research completed. Yellow power slugs are further into their life cycle than blue power slugs, and thus have more potential energy stored. They can now be processed into power shards.
And I need a power shard for that. Do I have to click this? Yeah, I gotta click this. You'll talk.
Power slugs extract latent energy from their surroundings to sustain themselves.
So I can craft the slugs to
By tuning the
shards.
object scanner to the particular potential energy signature, it is now able to locate them against the background environmental static.
Okay, here's overclocking, and I talked earlier in an episode, I don't remember, 2 or 3, about overclocking.
Overclocking development completed. Power shards can now be inserted into all buildings to increase input and output speed. Underclocking is also possible. Note: power consumption of overclocked buildings increases exponentially.
So you can tell, so we've got the object scanner. We have the ore scanner here, which will detect our ores. And then we have the object scanner, which detects objects. And you can flip through it and switch it to, that's not the right button. What's the right button to switch it? Right click? Yeah. Pillberry, nut, power slug, Mercer sphere. So you can tell there's a Mercer sphere and it's that way. Is that it right there? I'm sorry. So it's right at the top of that thing, I think. So you can do that. And then what else? Oh, then overclocking. So, and I used the last power slug, so I can't actually do it, but we can overclock stuff now. So I could come over here, I could put a power slug in. We're at 100%. I could slide this up 150, 200, 250. It would take 3 power slugs to get it up to 250. You don't ever want to overclock a machine because it uses power exponentially more. It's always cheaper just build a second machine. The only time you should be overclocking a machine should be a miner, unless it's a short-term thing. But you can also underclock. So if we come over, actually, I'm going to get confused if I try to do that one. Let me run downstairs to the concrete, because if you remember when we set that up in episode 2, we had enough limestone coming in for basically 2 2/3, I think, of a constructor. What floor is it? This floor? I don't even remember. It's dark in here. It's daylight though. Oh, it's back on. No, I want you off. Oh, that's better. Yeah, global illumination is awesome, but not if you're recording YouTube videos. All right, sorry about that. So come back in here, and if you remember, each one takes 45, right? Well, we're not quite getting that much. We're only getting 120. So this one will stay full, but these two are not running at 100%. They're kind of going back and forth because we're getting 75 a minute, and it's trying to split it twice, and it's not enough. So one of the things I can do is I can underclock this, and you can grab this and drag it down, and then this will update. Once it finishes what it's on, then it'll update. And what I want, and you could do this, you could do that. What I really want is I want 30 a minute. Yeah, 10. So one of the things you can do, you can set the clock speed. So you could type that in, because I knew it was 2/3. So we could type that in. You can type in 2 divided by 3 and hit. I thought you could do that there. I thought 2/3 worked. Okay, well, anyhow. You could do that somewhere. You can type the fraction in. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Anyways, back on track. So this one will take 30 a minute, which will leave 45 a minute left over. which is going to back this up and then overflow. And what's going to end up happening is that machine is already running at 100%. These two aren't. This one's going to run at 100% now, and that one's going to run at 100%. So we're using exactly 120 a minute of limestone and out with all the machines running at 100%. None of them are stopping. What I just did serves no purpose, honestly. There was no reason to do that. It changes nothing. It just makes the belts look better. But you can also underclock, and underclocking can be very useful in that regard. All right, back to research. So we've got some quartz here. We go ahead and research that.
The crystalline mineral was a previously unknown variation of quartz, with uniquely large and flawless crystals, normally only found in synthetic quartz. The industrial application of this mineral will follow that of its synthetic counterpart, specifically in communication and exploration technologies.
I could do that.
This unknown chemical element was in reality an unusual mixture of solid sulfide and sulfate materials from which sulfur can be extracted. Sulfur's primary use lies in fertilizers, which we have no use for. Instead, this element enables access to more volatile obstacle clearing and pioneer defending tools.
If I don't click this before she finishes, it's fine. If she's talking and you do that, and give her the next one to talk about. I think she will do it once or twice, and then she gets kind of mad at you.
Available. These may enhance performance of other fuel sources.
So we got a turbo fuel recipe and compacted coal, which we don't even need to really talk about right now. All right, so that is, I believe, everything we can research, right? Yeah. So we need to find a whole lot more stuff, obviously, to research more, but that's as much as we can research in there for the moment. So let me clear out all this stuff I don't need, and I need to get a whole bunch more stuff in my inventory. All right, so we finished tier 1 off. We're going to go here to tier 2. We're going to unlock the jump pads real quick. I am not going to build any. Oh, you know what? So if I press the button right now, the thing's going to take off, and then I can't do anything else. Now, it used to be, and I don't know if this still works, I'm going to select a different one, and I'm going to put the stuff in. What do I need these? It used to be that if I click this, it would launch both of them. We'd unlock both. So let's see what happens.
Milestone reached. You have been given access to the anti-waste effort for stress testing of materials on Exoplanet's bonus program, also known as Awesome. Your awesome input allows Fixit to comprehend our amazing universe more clearly. In appreciation of this, we have generously set up an internal, closed economy with exclusive rewards and currency. Directing parts of varying quantity and complexity into the Awesome Resource Sink will grant Fixit coupons. These coupons can be redeemed in the Awesome Shop for highly desirable items such as new foundations, walls, factory attachments, cosmetics, parts, and more. Next time you have additional resources, just remember to go that extra kilometer. Go awesome.
All right, so this is the Awesome Sink. It's a trash can. Whatever you put in it, it deletes it, and it gives you points. The points slow down, though, exponentially, or you need exponentially more points after each ticket. So just to give you an example, it really likes high-tier stuff. So let me grab, I think I need 100 smart plating. We'll waste 40 because I know we've got more than enough. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to throw 40 of these smart plating in. These are our top, our top tier thing. So just watch. We'll get tickets real fast, and then it'll slow down as we get tickets. And you might still think, oh, well, I mean, gosh, you've already got 7, 8 tickets. That's awesome. It's exponentially slower, though, so it's going to get slower and slower and slower. Okay, so we got 11 tickets, and I think I also have one alien thing left right there. I can't craft that into the other thing, can I? Oh, I can't. Okay. So these are your points for your normal items, and then there's separate points for alien DNA. So if I throw this thing in here, we'll get points down here on the bottom. And what's nice is when you get like really high up to where it takes an enormous amount of points to get a ticket, you can throw alien DNA in and it'll be at a much lower level and you'll get a bunch more tickets. All right, so we got 12 tickets. I can click here to print, and I can put them in my inventory. So that's what the Awesome Sync does. You can just build a factory and just feed it into there. You can make overflow stuff. So, you know, we're making concrete, and if the storage container's full, then the rest of it goes in there. There's all kinds of different ways to do it. And then the other thing we want is the Awesome Shop. And if where do I need screws? Hold on. All right, and like I was saying earlier, it doesn't look very pretty around here. Yep, this is where the Awesome Shop comes in. This is where we're gonna unlock useful things, but also a lot of nice looking things. All right, so we've got the Fix-It cart for 10 tickets. It's a neat little vehicle to drive around inside your factory. There's a boombox and a bunch of tapes for it. Then there's statues all the way up until the Golden Nut, which is 1,000 tickets. Under management, conveyor wall mounts. So we can just take this thing, stick it on a wall, and then attach a conveyor to it. So you can run conveyors along your wall instead of the floor. We've got a ceiling mount, so you can click that on the ceiling and run conveyors along the ceiling. Here's a floor hole. You just stick that down on the floor wherever you want, and then it'll attach a conveyor lift to it above and below. Okay, organization, signs. And some of these are big signs to small signs. This is something we want. It's nice to not only label your storage containers, which I put a little belt out so you can see what's sticking out of each one, but a sign, you know, you can see that from farther away. And it's also nice to label somewhere how much you're producing of something. Like, how many of these copper plates are we making a minute? I have no idea, but if I went down and calculated it and then I put a sign there and I said, you know, copper plates, 30 a minute or whatever. So that's nice to know. So that's signs. We've got a bunch of lights, and that's why I just figured out, I don't know how the global illumination got turned back on, but it's awesome to have global illumination, and then you get lights and it looks really cool. But for making YouTube videos, I leave it off and it just makes everything bright. So, you know, I don't know how much we'll get into lighting. We probably will, but I'm not super worried about it. Okay, here's a good one. We've got paint finishes. And then, we've got coated concrete, grip metal, asphalt. So we can make concrete and asphalt. We've got all of these different patterns, and you see each one is like a large amount of things. And these you can put down on the ground, so we can, you know, literally use asphalt, and then we can put dash lines or whatever, and we can make roads and things, and you can have the icons down for all that kind of stuff. We've got steel and concrete walls, and then we've got tar, metal, and glass for the roofs. For foundations, double ramp set. This is really good. And, you know, I should probably go back and I'll do that at the end. I'm just going to say I should start adding stuff to the cart I know I want. So the double ramps are really nice, look a lot better. Half foundations, stairs. We got quarter pipes, so you can kind of make like a skateboard park and then use the factory cart or whatever. We've got these type of quarter pipes. We've got inverted ramps, which those are very useful too. Corner ramps, inverted quarter ramps. So you can see they've added a lot under that. Walls, we've got conveyor walls. So the conveyor will click right to the 1, 2, or the 3 port. We've got doors. We've got big gates with, you know, gates. Steel frame walls, windowed walls. You can tell we don't have that. Tilted walls, so that's different than a roof. And then we've got the basically the angles and the upside down angles, which you're going to need on the roof. Architecture. We've got ladders. That's cool for climbing. We've got 2 different types of catwalks. So you could so I was trying to make it to where you run down here, but then I ended up putting conveyors sticking out. So for example, I could put a catwalk just down the top of the storage containers and then just have a ladder down here, and makes it easier to get around the factory. So that's cool. We've got actual roofs. Then we've got the corners for the roofs. Metal pillar set. There's big and small pillars, and they have bases. And you can also put the base on the top. And then the same thing, but in concrete, big and small. Frame pillars. I don't know if that's just one or if there's more things in there. Because like this one, it just shows one, but I know there's multiple things in that pack where it's the full one and there's smaller ones. I'm going to come back to beams. We've got modern railing, industrial railing, construction fence, road barrier, metal barrier. Now, the only thing I don't like is out of all of those, which are kind of similar, I think this one's the only one that will go on angles. I don't think any of the other ones go on angles. Structural beams are unlike anything else. The only thing they're similar to is power lines. If I had structural beams unlocked, I could click wherever I want. I could click right here, right on the corner of this. And I could come over here and I could click it there, and it would put one beam that would just like go through, and I could put it one down and one down. And so you could frame out an opening, or I could click one up there and then click over there, and it will have this steel beam that gets drawn between those two. So it's an infinite, well, it's not infinite length. I'm sure there's a, there's a link. I don't even know if it'll go that far, but you can do all kinds of stuff with them. Not only on the flat, but I could click there and click down. So this is basically what it looks like, is this thing, and you do have these little base plates. Now, I don't think you can put the base plates down on an angle. Maybe you can, because maybe they snap to the beam, but the beam will go at an angle, so you can make stuff at angles and things. So they're awesome. That's steel. That's why it's not unlocked yet. All right. Then equipment, we've got the coffee cup, and then parts. You can use your tickets to buy just regular items. I would not do this unless you were just kind of in a tight spot and you're just trying to unlock something real quick and you didn't care, just because the tickets are hard to get later. So that's all that stuff. Let me go through and figure out which ones I want, because I've only got 12 tickets and I could spend like 30 tickets right now. So let me figure this out. So I've got, yeah, I can get all those.
All fixed vetted materials are tested for toxins, hallucinogens, and other biologically adverse effects. Pioneers are advised not to immerse themselves in these materials, and not to lick, eat, breathe in, or otherwise consume them.
So I can do stuff like that, and I'm not saying that's what we would want to do up here, because it's not, but yeah, I can put down the concrete, pressing the wrong button. I can put down the asphalt, which is good for roads, and I really like how seamless it kind of blends together there when you do that. If I could remember to press the right button, I'm going to switch these back. And then we've got the, still pressing the wrong button, we've got the normal fix-it wall, and then we've got the concrete wall, so I can do that. I'm not going to do any of that right now. The one thing I do want to do is the double ramps, though, because we've got these ramps going up the side, and I mean, they look like this. It looks horrible, right? So I think I can leave that one. So now we'll go with the double ramp. And that just looks way, way better. It doesn't look completely unrealistic. So I'll change the ramps on the building in a second. Let me go back up here one time. So we've got access now. We've got our research. We got to keep finding things. We've got the awesome sink and awesome shop. So that's great. We got to keep, feeding stuff, getting tickets and unlocking things so we can make pretty stuff. That's going to get us the jump pads. So now we've unlocked everything.
Milestone reached.
Now we have to do the space
jump
elevator.
pad combines high technology and innovation for optimized factory traversal and an ideal travel experience. Clarification. Ideal travel experience not guaranteed. Individual results may vary. Pioneers are responsible for all workplace accidents resulting from jump pad usage.
Come on, zoop out. There it goes. So when we put the space elevator down, you could put it down just like the hub, and then you can pick it up and move it. And lots of people do that. They move it. It's a giant thing. It goes all the way to space. I just feel like you shouldn't be able to move it just for realism purposes. It seems kind of just crazy to be able to move it. So I'm going to play it just as a role play thing. I'm going to play. See how much better that looks than that? I'm going to play it like a role play thing where once we put the space elevator down, that's where it is. So I'm going to put it here. Eventually this factory won't be here. We probably won't even be over in this area at all. Can't quite get back up there. That's okay. We won't be back in this area at all, but this will be where the space elevator stays. So I don't know if I probably need to go one higher than that. I need essentially a 6x6 area for the space elevator. Give me just a second and let me map this out. All right, we should have everything we need. So I'm going to turn it to where the little stand, yeah, facing that way. And you can kind of tell if you get back. I'm going to lock it there and then see. That's probably pretty close. It's technically 6x7, but I do 7x7, so I've got a little path to walk in front. So that is just back a tiny bit. Looks like we might be over here. Or, oh, we're dead on. Nope, we're over a tiny bit. We'll, yeah, I guess that's fine. Yeah, because that rock is just... We can get rid of that rock later, too. All right, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. All right, so here we go. We're going to put the space elevator down. And like I said, just for role play purposes, this is where it stays. This is where it's going to stay. I don't know if I want to be down and look up. Probably. All right, so I'm going to click it. Here we go. Turn the UI off. And now we have a space elevator with a little space station on top. Okay, I think that's the end of it. So what I need to do...
Project assembly initialized. Congratulations, Pioneer. The space elevator will now automatically connect with the Project Assembly orbital platform. Project assembly is divided into phases, each of which require the delivery of project parts, such as smart plating, via the space elevator. Subsequent phases unlock access to new tiers with more advanced technologies to construct, automate, explore, and exploit. It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program, the largest united undertaking in human history, destined to save us all. Earth is in peril and only Fix-It pioneers offer hope for survival. Fix-It is counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. Do not let Fix-It down.
Okay, so I've gone ahead and put that in. I'm going to go to Seal. It's going to play a video. And I believe this first step is us sending the stuff up to this little platform, which is what shoots up to space.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation.
Why is it
Congratulations, the Phase 1 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 1 will be completed and the distribution platform will be constructed. After completion of Phase 1, the technologies
Automated
of Tiers
power.
3 and 4 will become available in the hub. Highlights
Surprise.
are automated power, steel production, personnel transportation, and many more. Completing Phase 2 of Project Assembly is your next main objective. New project parts will need to be produced and delivered to the space elevator as you have done previously. Continue to construct, automate, explore, and exploit for a better Fix-It future.
Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and send it. I'm going to back up some so I can tell. And then this thing's going to shoot up to the space station with those parts, and the little space station is going to start to grow. I don't know that you should call it a space station. It's just the top of the space elevator.
Phase 1 of Project Assembly completed. This is only the beginning of Project Assembly, the first step towards saving the day. You have performed adequately so far.
Hey, we're
Reminder,
adequate.
not only is Fix-It saving humanity, it is saving all of Earth, including kittens and puppies. It is statistically likely that you appreciate the continued existence of kittens and/or puppies. Continue the work for their sake. Continue the work for Fix-It. It is time to start the work on Phase 2 of Project Assembly.
All right, so they've already given us the next phase, and you can see we need what I just put 50 of in. We need 1,000. We need 1,000 of something else, and then 100 of something else. That's going to take a new factory, which is why we need the automated power. But if we got those things in the top right corner and we put them in there, then it would unlock the next tiers. We're not even close to ready for that yet. So let's go and see what we've got for tier 3 and 4. Coal power. Oh, what a shock. Yeah, this is what I was waiting for. So we get coal power generators, and we can put miners on a coal node, and it'll send coal indefinitely into the generators. They do take water, so we've got water extractors, and you set these on water, and then you use the pipes and the pumps, depending on how high you're going, to pump the water into the generators. There's also a fluid tank, and then of course we can scan for coal. So this will let us build however many coal generators we want, and it'll make power. But unlike the biofuel generators on the first floor, where I have to keep adding solid biofuel, or I have to, even though it's automated, I have to go out and chainsaw more stuff down. I don't have to do anything with the coal. We set it up and it's just power forever, and I never have to touch it again until it's not enough. So that's what we're here for. This is what we need before we can build the giant factory. We're also got some other things. So we've got vehicles here. So this is cool. We got a little tractor. I wish they wouldn't call it a tractor. In real life, a tractor is a motor vehicle that almost always pulls something. You can think of a farming tractor, and a farming tractor on its own can't do anything. It has to have some sort of implement in front or behind, and that is what does the work. The tractor moves it. Or you think of semis, a tractor trailer, and a tractor is the front of the semi. It pulls a trailer, right? This is a little truck, and they call it a tractor, and it doesn't attach to anything or pull anything or have it's not a tractor, it's a truck. Sorry, that was like a 30-second rant you didn't care about. We've got the truck station, so you can drive around on the tractor, but you can also set routes and record them, and you can have truck stations that'll load and unload the trucks, so you can automate things. 3 more inventory slots. We've got steel production. So just like we've got the constructor that has 1 input, 1 output, and then we've got the assembler that has 2 inputs, 1 output. We've got the smelter, 1 input, 1 output, and now we've got the foundry, or it's like a smelter, but it's got 2 inputs. So you give it 2 things and it can make steel or whatever else. We've got steel ingots. We can turn the ingots into beams or pipes. We can make the versatile framework, and it unlocks more stuff in the awesome shop because several of those things required steel and they were locked behind. We've got enhanced security. So this is the Xeno Basher. It's a step up from what we've currently got. It's like an electric sword, kind of a precursor to a lightsaber maybe. We get 1 more hand slot, 3 inventory slots. Tier 4, we get the blueprint designer and a blueprint gun. This is really cool because if you're doing a bunch of repetitive building, you can just make a blueprint. We've got logistics Mark III, so we get, for whatever reason, the stackable pipeline support in here. We get conveyors Mark III, so 270 a minute. We've got the industrial storage container. It looks like 2 storage containers stacked. It is, literally. It's the same amount of space inside as 2 storage containers stacked. It's got 2 inputs and 2 outputs. So why is that any good? Well, there are times where you want to send everything to 1 container and have 2 outputs, and you want maximum throughput. So it'll become clear when we need it. Advanced steel production, we get the miners Mark II. So that doubles everything, and then we get industrial beams, stators, motors, automated wiring. So we're already making rotors. So the rotors and stators go together to make the motors. We've got expanded power. And remember, I talked about the zip lines, and we can zip line on our little power lines we have now. Well, these, they go, 10 times as far between towers, and the line just goes that far. So you can zip line on these. And so there's the regular power tower, and then there's the one with the platform, and it's got a ladder and a platform, and it's for the zip lines. And then we have power storage, which is a battery. We don't really need that right now, but later they're going to introduce machines that don't have a fixed power input. They need a bunch and then need a little, so your power kind of goes up and down. And then we've got hypertubes. So you've got the hypertube entrance, and then the tube, and then you got 2 different types of supports, kind of like the conveyors. And you can, it was what the devs intended was, let's say I wanted, to go from here to the space elevator, you could put an entrance here and then run a tube down there, and you'd get sucked into the tube and it would shoot you, down there. What people discovered, though, was you put an entrance and a space and an entrance and a space and an entrance and an entrance, you know, and each one takes power and they multiply together for speed. So yeah, it'll shoot you through the tube really fast. But if you just have a short tube and angle it up, it'll launch you in the air. So a lot of people will build, instead of, you know, like, oh, I need to get over there, they'll just build something and it'll suck you in and it'll shoot you through the air over there. Not exactly realistic. So I might do it once just to, you know, show it, but we're not going to do that because I don't think it's just not the kind of realistic playthrough we're going for here. So that's everything. So what I actually want is, obviously I want to unlock coal power because we want to go and do that, but we're going to go to a new area. I want this first. I want to have a new weapon. I don't have enough stuff. This is why I was filling my inventory. So we need rods and wire. Probably need more screws too. Oh, and one of the things, you'll see a lot of people that play this game and they'll run along and they'll jump and they'll slide. Okay, I mistimed it. I'm not used to doing it, and I'll explain why, but because you can slide under stuff, so you'll see them, because you can kind of get around a little faster if you're doing this. I don't do it. I specifically try to never do it, just because the YouTube, you know, the compression, the way compression works, if the background stays the same, it never gets pixelated. The more everything moves, the more likely things are to get pixelated. So I try to run like this, because when you're jumping and then sliding and stuff, I don't know, it's more likely that it's going to mess up the compression. So that's why I don't do it, and you'll see a ton of people do it. All right, back over here, and let's unlock the Xeno Zapper. No, the Xeno Basher.
Milestone reached. The Xeno Basher is a direct upgrade from the Xeno Zapper. In the words of the engineer that first developed this tool, quote, "The Zapper kind of electrocutes things, the Basher straight up smacks stuff, while also electrocuting them," unquote. It is beneficial during encounters with aggressive fauna and has been tested thoroughly. The engineer's noble sacrifice for Xeno Research will not be forgotten, whoever they were.
Oh, I don't know why I'm trying to click that instead of holding it down. Okay, and they gave us 3 hand slots, so I can have my sword, I can have my scanner, and I can have my chainsaw. Like I said, it's like an electric sword. Because it's, I don't know, you see kind of electricity with it sometimes. All right, so we've got our new weapon, which we're going to need. And I do want to go ahead and unlock a vehicle. It's not necessary right now. I can easily walk over to the coal power, but the vehicle allows us to carry a ton of resources with us because it's got its own inventory. It's a little quicker to drive. It's safer because if there's enemies around, you can get in the vehicle. So I want to go ahead and unlock this guy. And I'm not going to be able to do it until the thing comes back. And then right after that, I think I'm also going to unlock the coal power. Probably don't have enough of this stuff. All right, well, I got to wait. We'll be back in a minute and a half once the freighter returns. Okay, I didn't hear it come back, but yeah, the timer's gone. All right, so I don't know that I 100% have everything. I probably still need to go downstairs for screws for something. All right, but let's see if we've got... Oh, I've only got a... You know what it was? And the reason I let the game run for 2 hours between episodes was I knew... I kind of went ahead to see what we had. What is this? Cables, right? Am I not double-clicking this? Oh, there we go. I went ahead to see what we had and, you know, what we were going to need. And I'm like, oh, I need a bunch of resources here that we don't even remotely have. So I let the game run for 2 hours, and that got me enough rotors. When I practiced this, though, I did not research. I did an extra research here. What was it? I unlocked something I didn't unlock when I was practicing it. And whichever one it was this one. Yeah, so... No, because that's... Yeah, because it took 100. Oh, my God. Yeah, so it took 100 rotors, and I didn't plan for that, so that's why I'm 25 rotors short. So we gotta stand around and wait a little bit for the rotors to come up. Okay, that's 25. At least I can unlock one thing. We're gonna have to wait for 50, and I don't really want to handcraft another 50 of those because I don't have that many screws.
Milestone reached.
So I guess it's the truck.
Tractors permit pioneers to move around the world in a manner similar to using legs, except with wheels and the rampant consumption of natural resources.
I guess
They can also be automated to self-drive and deliver resources between truck stations, which in turn facilitate automation of loading, unloading, and refueling.
right, and so we can just do some basic stuff. Like, I'm not saying that looks great or anything. I just wanted to quickly modify it, but we can do some stuff like that. Should probably put some ramps down here too. And then the tractor. Oh, I need 5. No. Okay, so it's got a crafting bench on the back, and it's got
Tractors
inventory,
can use any
and it's
type
got a
of fuel
fuel slot.
and have a self-driving feature,
I don't think I
much
have
like
any.
Pioneers, only
It'll
more
take
reliable.
biofuel for now.
While driving, you can record a path to automate vehicle resource transportation. Unlike early self-driving vehicles, tractors will not spy on you. Your employee data is already fully subject to other means of surveillance.
All right, so I can put that in there. It's got the inventory. I don't need to put anything into that yet. Like I said, this is called the tractor. It's not a tractor. It's a little truck thing. A lot of people call it a sugar cube. And it's got new physics, and I am not used to driving these things with the new physics. Here's why I put the conveyors up. It won't be high enough for the bigger truck, but it's high enough for this thing. So I'm not used to driving this with these newer physics, so it definitely handles a little different. I don't think there'll be ever a vehicle in a game that I can drive as easily as the Warthog from the first Halo. That's like the best vehicle anybody's ever made as far as handling goes. All right, so we got this little thing. Yeah, and then it's got the autopilot, so I can program a path, and yeah, we'll get to all that stuff when we start to automate things. Let me run back upstairs because the freighter's here. I don't have the 50 rotors, so I'm not going to handcraft them. I really don't want to handcraft them. Yeah, we'll probably just come back when it's done. And this is, you know, I need a different, all I've got is concrete and asphalt. I need a better texture for that too, but we don't have that yet. Okay, that's good enough. I think one of the things I'm going to do, we do need 1,000 of these to unlock the next tier. That's a long ways away because we also need 1,000 of the other one, and we're not even making it yet. So I think I don't really need these. I think these would be a good item to sink just because we're not really going to need them. So I'm going to put this thing back if I can remember where it is. Oh, it's only one.
As Fixit amply demonstrates, you can never have too much management.
We'll let this finish. And see, you're here. So technically, floor hole there? Yeah, so you've got it. I snapped it to the storage container, and then I snap it to the hole. So that's going to send stuff up. And then this actually won't be able to go. Oh, I did that. This won't be able to go that short, will it? Oh, it can. Okay. Okay, and that snapped to the floor hole. And then when I do this, yep, there we go. So we've automated it now. So whatever of those we make will all go up there automatically. And that was why I went the floor hole. All right, let me see. How many tickets do we have now? 9 more. If I don't really want to feed it anything else. Inverted ramps would be nice, but I don't need them. The walls I'm not going to need for the power. It would be nice to have doors and gates, though. But... I definitely want these. Can you just go back to where you were without clicking that? I can't do those without steel. I'm going to want that. I don't remember which one of these was the tall one. I think that's the tall one. I don't have to have that one, but it would be nice to have that one. What are we at? 7. I got room for 2 more. Yeah, we'll get that. Okay. That gets us a lot more stuff that I'm going to need to make things look decent. So we've got the big and the small pillars, metal and concrete. So there's your big pillar. There's the metal one. There's the concrete one. You can kind of see the difference there. And then the small pillars are this size. Same thing, metal and concrete. And you can snap this guy to the top. And you can also do them sideways if you get it to snap how you want. So you could, you know, put that there and then do stuff like that. I believe you can snap these. Yeah, they'll snap to stuff like this too. I don't think you can do hologram, can you, with those? Oh, you can. So can I nudge it then? Oh, I can. I've never tried that before. Yeah, so if I wanted to... Can't do it sideways easily. All right, but you get the point, right? Like, once we start getting more and more stuff from the awesome shop, we can start making things that actually... Obviously, this is way too big for anything inside. And the steel beams are way easier. Okay, so... back over here... Full power.
Milestone reached. Power production can now be fully automated by burning coal, which has been added to the resource scanner.
Requires steel.
Water is also necessary to run the coal-powered generator and will require a network of pipelines to be transported from a water source. To assist with locating and identifying water, Fixit has compiled this guide. Water is a somewhat reflective liquid and it may have thick vegetation growing nearby. To test if something is water, try touching it. If it is not solid and does not corrode your suit, it is probably water.
Thanks, Ada, for help identifying water. All right, so one of the things that we got was the object scanner, and then we got the ore scanner. And when I go to the ore scanner now, I can see my keyboard. So we've got iron, copper, limestone. We've got Caterium now, we've got quartz now, we've got sulfur now, we've got coal. And when you scan stuff and you go to the map, it'll also show you on the map where things are. And I can already tell you, there's one, okay, it's right there, there's one over here, and then where everybody goes for coal power is up here. There they go. There's a bunch of coal up there, and there's water, because the coal power requires water. So there's 2 coal close. There's a tiny bit of water there, a tiny bit of water there. So we're going to head over there with the sugar cube. Now, we're past the wrapping up point, I'm sure, with how long letting Ada talk and all these things were. So it's going to be the next episode where we go for coal power. And this episode was just all about laying the groundwork for coal power and, unlocking some things. And yeah, I mean, look at that. That looks way better than it did before. Is it perfect? No, I need, this foundation here texture kind of doesn't really work exactly. And I don't know, maybe I could put an angle there or something, but all right. So I want to head over to where the coal is, and I could ping it, but I approximately know where it is. I was kind of clearing the way towards it when I was cutting all these trees down. So we've got the vehicle and we've got the Xeno Basher or whatever. We didn't really have to have both of those things. The main thing with the vehicle is to be able to hold more inventory. So we're going to go up here for the coal, and that'll be next episode's thing, is building the coal. But for this episode, and there's a road, and there's actually kind of like roads where they put on the map where you're kind of supposed to be. So I was a little off the road there. So we're going to follow this road up, and then I think it's either straight or to the right. I don't remember exactly. Is this? I think this is it right here. Yes. So this is the path down to the coal. I'm just going to get out because I don't want to drive the truck off the edge right now. So, oh, the path's over there. Ah, I'm at the wrong one. Oh, I just got confused when I got off the truck. Yeah, this is where I want to be. So the path down to the coal, there's kind of a little path down, not exactly meant for driving a vehicle. And then, of course, down here is your water, and then the coal nodes are all in the woods there, and so we can build a giant thing here. Lots of people do. We could just throw it down and not care about looks, but we're gonna come back here several times because I'm not gonna build the whole thing out. I'm gonna build enough for now, and then later we'll add more and stuff. And also, we only have access to a certain amount of coal at the moment because we have Mark 1 miners, and I don't have any slugs to overclock. Later, I can get the Mark 2 miners, we can overclock them, and we could have a lot more power down here. So the last thing we're going to do in this episode is I'm just going to have a nice time lapse where I just go down this hill. I'm going to remove everything, and then I'm going to build a ramp, but I can't just build a ramp just because there's, all these angles and stuff. So I got to put stuff down and then delete it and kind of work my way down there. But we're going to make something that looks nice, and also something that kind of draws your attention to right here. So I know to drive this way and drive down, and we'll put some barriers up so I don't fall off the edge. So we will do that. And then next episode is going to be about building the giant coal power plant. All right, here we go. And I guess I'll say thanks for watching because I don't think I'm going to come back after the time lapse. So I will see you guys in episode 5.
Let's party.
Potential edible collected. Reminder that look and smell alone do not provide sufficient data to determine exact risk of consumption. Just because it looks like you can eat it, does not mean it won't eat you. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Follow the veins to the altar and chant. Be appropriate.